Fox News alert now out of Nevada. Sharron Angle's campaign now confirming to Fox News that it is candidate Angle who was heard on an audio tape that is turned up blasting the GOP. She's the Republican Senate candidate who's looking to unseat Harry Reid. She made these comments during a closed-door meeting with a third candidate who's in this race, the Tea Party candidate. Even though she's got the Tea Party backing, there is technically this other guy named Scott Ashton who is trying to unseat Reid as well. Well, Angle met with him and is heard on the tape encouraging him to drop out of the race, telling him, quote, "I believe you can do some real harm, not to Harry Reid, but to me. I'm not sure you can win, and I'm not sure I can win if you're hurting my chances." And that's the part that scares me. Hewitt is a radio talk show host, and he's my guest now. So now it depends on who you consult when you ask what this tape means for Sharron Angle and her, very tight race against Harry Reid right now. It is anybody's ball game out there in Nevada. It is not, however, Ashton's ball game. He's not going to win. So she goes to him to try to persuade him to drop out of the race and says not only what we put in that full screen quote right there, but says the following about the Republican Party. The Republicans, here we have it. Okay, no, not the one about the mint, the other one. Hold on, Sam, stay with me, viewers, as I get it on the screen for you. The Republicans have lost their standards. They've lost their principles. Really, that's why the machine in the Republican Party is fighting against me. And she goes on and on about the Republican Party in a very unflattering way, Hugh, and now that helps or hurts her in this race.
Helps, Megan, and it's good to see you. I waited to see what the actual transcript was before calling this morning, and I agree with Howard Kurtz over at the Washington Post. It's at worst mildly embarrassing, but I actually think Sharron Angle walks away from this with increased credentials among the people of the independent persuasion who are looking for people to go back to Washington, D.C. and shake things up. She is citing with approval Tom Coburn and Jim DeMint. She is standing with Ken Buck in Colorado and Joe Miller in Alaska and Rand Paul in Kentucky. And most importantly, even though she is surreptitiously and I suspect illegally taped by this third-party guy, Ashton, who comes off looking very, very bad, she is authentic as to what she has said she has been before.
She doesn't love the grand old party.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the people who are voting in Nevada who are looking to get rid of Harry Reid and to overturn the governing majority in the United States Senate will be pleased that they have a tough-talking, very authentic Sharron Angle on the ballot. And I think it hurts this so-called Tea Party candidate.
Well, she talks about why she ran as a Republican to this guy Ashton, saying, look, the only difference between the two of us is I realized that in order to win, you got to get on the ticket as either a Republican or a Democrat. So I did that as a Republican. But she talks about it. She doesn't like the Republican Party. She thinks they're fighting against her. And she says they've never really gone along with lower taxes and less government, which is what she stands for. But let me take issue with your characterization of the DeMint thing, Hugh, because I think you've put it in the most flattering light possible. This is the part that may cause trouble for her. She's talking about what she can give Ashton to get him to get out of the race. This is where candidates go wrong. Nothing wrong with saying, hey, why don't you get out of the race, right? That's fine. But you can't offer, something of value in exchange for doing it. So here's what she says. She says, first, before she gets to this, she says, that's really all I can offer to you, Ashton. Whatever juice I have, you'll have as well. Then she says this, you want to see DeMint? I have juice with him. I go to Washington, D.C., and want to see Jim DeMint. He's right there for me. I want to see Tom Coburn. He's right there for me. I want to see Mitch McConnell. He's there. So she's basically, I'm not saying that this is a potential crime. I'm just saying that it just sounds like she's awfully establishment for the candidate who's supposed to be anti.
Well, it's the people that she cites there in the first two, Megan, where I have to disagree a little bit with the interpretation, because DeMint and Coburn are the voice of the popular uprising in the country right now. They're the ones who want to slash spending and put the country on a sound fiscal basis. So when she says to a so-called Tea Party person, and Ashton really does not represent the Tea Party, they've endorsed Sharron Angle, as did the Las Vegas Sun-Journal yesterday, that I will go and work with DeMint and Coburn for your issues. I don't think it's going to be read like an access offer, as some of the left has done. And that takes me to what the left has been doing. They're trying to use these diversion tactics, not just in Nevada, but in California with the reverse all-red torpedo, which hit Jerry Brown midships. And they're trying to get voters off of what matters most to them, which is fear of where the country is headed and anger over broken promises by Obama. And so when Sharron Angle goes into a meeting and says, get out of the race so I can beat Harry Reid, so I can go back there and work with DeMint and Coburn, I think she's ringing every bell. And when
but why is she saying I can offer you juice I have with McConnell and DeMint? This guy who she's running against, Ashton, he's the owner of A&A Asphalt, a paving company. Why does Ashton, when he loses this race, need juice as an asphalt company or paving company with Mitch McConnell?
If I believed for a moment that was what she was talking about, I would be joining any critic of Sharron Angle, but it's not. When she says juice, I really believe, Megan, she says, when you want to come back and hammer on spending, when you want to come back and hammer on the growth of government, I will take you personally in to see Jim DeMint and Tom Coburn and Mitch McConnell, who will hammer on those issues. But for the media, especially the liberal media this morning, was all over this. It's like someone complaining to their bank that they have been unjustly denied a deposit, an important issue to them. Like the people right now are concerned about money and spending. And the media is saying, take a toaster, take this story over here, go on and worry about whether or not juice matters. I don't think it's working. It's not working in California. I don't think it's going to work in Connecticut. As Carl was just reporting, I don't think it's going to work anywhere because people are so desperately concerned that the country get back on fiscal sound ground. And I think Sharron Angle, if you read this tape, listen to it, she was absolutely defrauded by this guy, but she did not betray her principles.
It's online now, and apparently Ashton is the one who leaked it to the media after it happened. All right, Hugh, thank you so much for your insights.
Always a pleasure, Megan.